I'm creating this video for the younger me, for most of you that are trying to make your first 1000 questions. So 5 years ago, when I started building my career, I was trying a lot of business models, affiliate marketing, freelancing, sales. I tried a bunch of stuff, right? Because I was trying to make my first 1000 question, and I encountered a lot of hurdles. I encountered a lot of problems. I read a couple books, multiple of books. I binge watched a bunch of YouTube videos, trying to learn exactly how I can actually get my first 1000 question. And after all of that, input, all of that, life lessons that I've gotten to learn up to this point, right? I haven't yet made anything of myself. I'm not coming here proudly or arrogantly to tell you that I've made something of myself, but yeah, I'm just trying to speak to the younger me, that in the versions of you guys that are trying to actually get your first 1000, right? So really, if you can't actually watch this single video that's going to show you exactly how to do that, then I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to help you. But if you're somebody who wants to save years and years, of trial and error, and you want to learn from somebody who has actually, tried and erred, in this journey, then switch off all your distractions, turn off your WhatsApp, your Facebook, and whatever might distract you from watching this video. Grab your notepad, grab your pen, and take down notes, right? I want you to stay laser beam focused, because part of you achieving this goal right here when you're getting started is to learn to focus. Right now, trust me, you are not hitting this goal because you simply cannot focus. But if you focus on this one video and pay attention, right? So however long this video is going to be, if it's going to be 1 hour, just pay attention. Trust me, you are going to love exactly what I'm going to show you. You're going to love exactly what I'm going to teach you right here. And trust me, if you implement what I'm going to show you right here, you will definitely make your first 1000 questions, and that I can guarantee you, right? So there are two major things that are actually going to that are gonna help you hit your goal, right? So the first thing right here is mindset, right? And the second is what I love to call the mechanism, right? So yeah, so mindset and mechanism, I want you to understand this part, because if you miss this part, right, trust me, whatever I'm going to tell you throughout this video is not going to do you any good, because this is where the actual work is, right? So imagine you are imagine you here, right? So this is you're trying to get to this destination, right? You're trying to get to this destination right here, and you have a car, right? So this is a car that is meant, okay, let me draw this nicely. This is a car that is meant to get you to this beautiful destination right here. So what you are going to need for you to get to this beautiful destination that trying to get to here is a well-functional car, and that is well fueled, and you being able to drive the car, right? You being able to drive the car. So you are the driver of the car, and you need this car. So what I'm saying here is that your mindset is the driver, right? Your mindset is the driver, and the mechanism is the car. So the only way you are going to get to this beautiful destination that trying to get, in this case, you're trying to make your first 1000 kwacha using whatsoever business model, right? So the only way you're gonna get to this destination is if you have a car that are gonna use to drive all the way to this goal, and there is you, the driver, who must know exactly how to drive a car. So the point is that if you don't know how to drive a car, no matter how good the car is, whether it's a Ferrari, it's a Lamborghini, it's a Range Rover, no matter how fuel the car is, no matter how great the car is, if you don't know how to drive the car, trust me, you are going to get into an accident, right? You are either not going to be able to start the car, or you're going to get into an accident, get yourself injured and get yourself killed on the way, right? Because you simply don't know exactly how to drive the car. And this is no different with trying to, probably maybe run a business, build a side house or whatsoever. If you haven't yet built a mindset that can drive that side hustle, that business, that career you're trying to start, you keep on crushing yourself again and again and again until you learn how to drive, right? And the second thing you need is a mindset. Is the mechanism. So in this case, the mechanism is the car. So you may have, the correct mindset, well and good. If you have, the mindset, a good mindset, but if you don't have the mechanism, right? In this case, the mechanism is the car. If you don't have the mechanism, aka car, no matter how good you are at driving, right? If you don't have the car to drive, you won't get to a desired outcome, simply because you need these two things, right? You need these two things. And that is why most people are actually stuck, because some have the mindset, but they don't have the mechanism. Some have the mechanism, but they don't have the mindset. And there are some that neither have the mindset nor do they have the mechanism. So they lack both. So here I'm creating this video to help, people that you either have the mindset or you don't have the mechanism, or you have the mechanism, you don't have the mindset, or you don't have both, right? I'm here to help you, with that. So how do we get started from here, right? So I want you to understand this, very, very important, right? It's gonna help you hit this goal right here, right? So please, take notes, watch this video till the end, because what I'm showing you right now is going to help you hit this goal. So you need, these three pillars, right? This is a pillar that you need to actually hit this goal and beyond, right? So here you need to set, your beliefs correctly. You need, skills, and you need a good character that will support, a person that is capable of getting 1,000, right? So with the beliefs here, I know the people that are watching this video, maybe I assume you guys are between the ages of 18, 19, 20 plus, right? Because these are people that are actually trying to make the first 1,000. That's what I'm assuming right now. So most of you right now, your beliefs are, you don't feel, it's possible. You don't feel it's possible for you to actually make a first 1,000, with whatever you're trying to, achieve right now. You feel, you need a degree or whatsoever. You feel, you don't have much information, you feel, you have all of those limiting beliefs to your goals. And probably that is the reason as to why you're not hitting your goals. And the second thing is that probably you don't have any skill, right? And the other thing is you have a very bad character, right? That is why, you are not hitting this goal in the first place. So let me actually, be a little bit elaborate so that, you understand what I'm talking about here. So remember, you need, a good set of belief systems for whatever goal you're trying to achieve right now. Remember, a belief is, your perceived your perceived reality. Whatever you believe in builds your reality. So people who have bad beliefs towards money, they actually lack it. Why? Because that's what they believe about it, right? So whatever you believe in, there your energy flows, right? So if you believe something is bad, you're going to have bad energy towards that thing. If you believe something is good, you're going to have good energy towards that thing, right? So let's say, for example, you don't believe in Christianity, right? You don't believe in Christianity. You won't ever dare to go to church because Christianity is not something you believe in. If you don't believe in Islam, you probably won't show up to the mosque simply because you don't believe in Islam, right? You won't put an effort into something you don't believe in, right? So where your energy goes, where your energy goes, results show. And human beings by default, we don't place our energy in stuffs we don't believe in, right? So that is why the first thing that I want you to do is to believe in this goal that you're trying to achieve, right? Believe that you are the type of person, you're the kind of person who is capable of achieving this goal before you even see the results, right? Don't worry, I know most of you thought I'm here to show you business model that you should start side hustles or whatsoever. I'm gonna show you later down the line in this video, but first we need to fix your mindset, right? So belief system, and secondly, let's fix your character, right? So here what I want you to do is I want you to learn how to focus. I want you to learn how to stay consistent, and I want you to learn how to stay disciplined. The only way you're gonna hit your goal is if you stay focused at that goal, you stay consistent, and you stay disciplined. Most people cannot focus, they simply cannot focus, right? So I believe out of 100 people that are watching my video right now, probably 10 have reached this minute. Why? Simply because you guys lack focus, and it is because of your low concentration span, your low focus, as to why you're failing to hit your goals, right? You can't stay consistent at one thing, and you can't stay disciplined. You fail to stay disciplined. So the reason as to why this is giving you problems is because whenever there is this version of you right here, there is this version of you right here, the poor version of you right here, poor mentality whatsoever, poor version of you right here, and there's this amazing, the great version of you, the great version of you right here. So this version of you here has bad habits. Probably that is because you can't do anything great for yourself, is because the version of you that is here has bad habits. And for you to actually transition from this version of you that has bad habits to this version of you that has amazing habits, you need to kill these habits, right? And these habits have gained they've gained strength against you since you've had them for quite a long time. And for you to successfully kill these habits, it's going to take a lot of pressure. It's going to take a lot of pressure. And because it's going to take a lot of pressure for you to kill the bad habits, so you can become a person who is well focused, somebody who is disciplined, and somebody who is consistent, you are going to face what I call resistance. And if you're not facing any resistance right now, trust me, you are probably doing something completely wrong, right? Because remember, in your comfort zone, there is no growth in. Whatever you have right now, that's your comfort zone. And every time you're trying to pursue growth in, you're going to encounter resistance, right? So if you are not encountering resistance right now, you are doing something completely wrong. So here is how it is. I want to give you a philosophy right now. So think of it in this way, right? So think of it in this way. So there is, you right now, you, this person, right? You're trying to become a king, right? You're trying to achieve your goals right now. And in the middle here lies pressure, right? So this version of you here, remember, has bad habits, things like procrastination. You procrastinate way too much. This version of you has a lot of fears. This version of you has self-doubt. This version of you has limiting beliefs, right? This version of you has limiting beliefs. This version of you doesn't want to take action, it procrastinates too much. This version of you right now, fears hard work. This version of you right now fears hard work. This version of you right now don't believe, you don't believe that you can achieve whatever you're trying to achieve right now. So this version of you right now has all of these bad beliefs, bad characters, and poor skills. That is why you can't support this version of you that are trying to become. And for you to break through this sphere that you are in, to this level where you are a king of your life, right, or whatever you're trying to achieve, you have to break this pressure in between, right? And the only way you are going to break this pressure in between is if you starve, is if you starve your bad habits, right? If you starve your bad habits, trust me, you are going to transition and hit your goals, because your bad habits, they have resistance, right? Remember, every habit that you develop doesn't want to die, it wants to survive, right? So the more you do more of that habit, the more you empower that habit, the more you give it strength, the more you give it life. And the minute you start taking action on your goals, you are implementing, you are becoming, you're now implementing your goals. You procrastinate less. You are focused, you are disciplined, and now you want to achieve your goals. You can sit for 8 hours, deep work. The more you do more things that support the version of you that are trying to become, the more you starve the bad version of you, and the more you're going to hit your goal, right? So this is exactly what you need to do, right? So once you actually put in practice what I've showed you right now, trust me, there is no way you are not going to have the mindset that's going to support whatever I'm trying to achieve right now. Because the mindset that supports what I'm trying to achieve right now is going to determine that you remain focused, disciplined, and consistent. And these three actions, if you take them, they are going to kill your bad habits. And the more you destroy your bad habits, the more you're going to enjoy things that are driving you closer to your goals, right? Things like staying consistent with action, right? So once you've done this, trust me, you are going to have a mindset that supports your goals. So now, what should you do? What mechanism now do you want to implement for you to make your first 1,000 online? So here's the mechanism, right? So I'm going to give you the mechanism right now. So remember, right, whatever you are going to do, in trying to, build up a career for yourself, you have to understand that, there is a gap somewhere. There is a gap somewhere, right? There is a gap somewhere. So this gap, needs someone who is going to fulfill the gap, right? So don't worry, I'm going to explain it to you in a way that you're going to understand. There's this gap here, and this gap needs someone who can fulfill it, right? So people want to make money, people want to be healthy, people, they're trying to grow their businesses. People are trying to, build their online presence. People are trying to achieve a lot of things, but they're still figuring out how to achieve those things, right? They're trying to achieve a lot of things, and they're figuring out how to achieve those things, and this creates what we call problems, right? People have problems, and it's because of these problems that you have that now we have you here who is going to leverage these problems to come up with a solution that people will pay you for, right? So remember, every time people remove money and pay you, it's because you are exchanging something valuable, right? Remember, money is value, and money is only given to people who create value, right? So money in its nature equals value, right? And people will give this money to someone who create value for them. You see how it goes? Money equals value, and people will give this money to people who help them create the value, right? So I hope you understand this. So now here's the thing now, right? So if, let's say, person X runs a business, person X runs a business and he's struggling with sales. So this person has a problem. He's struggling with sales, and there comes you, who is a sales expert, and you help this person make 20 extra sales at his company. This person is actually going to pay you a portion of these sales that you've helped made, because you have just added value to his company, right? So now you're worth paying the money, right? So what I'm saying here, the point I'm trying to bring across here is that, people have problems and they need people who help them solve these problems. And every time you position yourself as somebody who is a problem solver, who is a problem solver, you create value for people because you eliminate problems out of their lives, right? And because you've eliminated problems out of their lives, they are going to value you with your money, right? So now, how do you do this? So how we are going to do this, remember from the first session I told you that you need to develop a skill, right? So there are so many skills that you can learn, right? So I know most people tell you, go and learn a skill if you want to build a career. If you want to go further, go ahead and learn a skill. But the question is, what type of skill are you trying to learn? So for me, what I'll tell you is, list things that come natural to you. List at least 5 stuff that comes natural to you, right? So for example, if you're a good communicator, then sales could be a thing, right? If you're good at writing, then you can easily do you can easily become a copywriter and join marketing. If you're a creative type of a person, then you can do content, you can do designing, and many other activities, right? So now I want you to go and research about yourself, right? Find at least 5 things that come natural to you. Are you great at speaking? Are you great at writing? Are you great at coming up with brilliant ideas? Whatever. Find out what you're great at. Then